Right, well, the 10th entry in the Fast and Furious franchise. They've dropped the and Furious part and it's just now Fast X. Because Fast 10, I guess. It's debuted. Reviews are out. The Rotten Tomatoes score is here. And the general critics' consensus is around. Now, I think it's really important to note, like, this has just become this, I guess, like a Saturday cartoon style movie franchise. And there's nothing actually inherently wrong with that. You know, they make big money, worldwide. And there's clearly an audience for it. I don't particularly like these movies at all. I think some of the sort of car stuff is interesting to a certain degree, but they're not my cup of tea. You know, they're just not. And where they came from to where they are now is leagues apart. But is that a bad thing if they're still making money? I don't know. I mean, they're catering to an audience. And sometimes it's fun to have a bit of levity. And sometimes it's good to have that levity in a franchise. These just aren't for me, but I'm not going to massively hate on it because this just really isn't for me. It's not my cup of tea. But hit subscribe if you're new here. We're going to take a look at this today. So the review embargo has lifted. This lifted yesterday. And it's kind of what we expect, I would say. It is kind of what we expected. I mean, it's debuted to 55% critics and 84% audience score. So we'll take a look at that in a minute. Now, there is some interesting box office tracking because they're talking about the current box office projections, right? Now, the current box office projections for this movie are anywhere between $58 to $73 million. That's domestic. That's just in North America. And then with a $280 to $300 million global haul opening weekend. That's pretty decent. That is pretty decent. I actually think it will do a little bit more. They do say here, this article thinks that Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be stiff competition for it. I really actually don't think so. And this isn't an indictment on Guardians of the Galaxy in any way, shape or form. I just think those people that were going to go watch that movie have watched it. And they're not going to keep watching it. It is kind of like a one and done film. But yeah, I mean... they're saying that, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy will hit $29 to $35 million in its third weekend. Not amazing, not incredible. But yeah, again, it debuted at 59% and has slowly been going down. But is this a surprise? I mean, it's not for me. It's kind of what you expect, you know. They're not. Look, I don't think they're good. Okay. I would put these... How can I say this? These are... I look at this how some people would look at the Monsterverse. There you go. There's a great comparison. The Monsterverse is what it is. It's giant monsters being big, dumb, giant monsters fighting. And I take great enjoyment out of that. Great pleasure. Now, I'm sure there's lots of people that look at the Monsterverse, Godzilla movies, and go, God, what a lump of crap. But this is, but they are their own thing, and they're unapologetic like it. They're a bit of fun, and they don't need to be anything else. And that's kind of what the Fast and Furious franchise is. There you go. You guys want me to be positive? That's as positive as I can be. So here you have some of the reviews, and we'll look at some of the audiences as well, because there's a disparity, not a huge one. It's like, if you're already a fan of the series, you'll find much to enjoy. If you aren't, why bothering anyway? And that's true. I mean, it's the 10th entry, for goodness sake. I think that about sums it up, isn't it, really? It's the 10th movie in the franchise. If you like these films, you're going to love this. And if you don't like the films, why are you watching the 10th entry in a franchise? Consistently lighting up the screen at every turn, Momoa's performance allows the film to rise above its narrative shortcomings. Interesting. That's, interesting. Fast X is watchable, and its car chases are often exciting, but it's not as satisfying as the best Fast and Furious movies. But that's because I think it's not a Fast and Furious movie anymore. I think that's probably the best way to call it, you know? It's almost, again, to compare it to the Monsterverse, 2014's Godzilla came out. That is completely different to Godzilla vs. Kong. There you go. Completely different. Tonally, completely different. And this is exactly the same as this. Fast and Furious versus Fast and Furious X. Or Fast X. They're tonally completely different. Vin Diesel clearly still takes his most successful franchise seriously, but does anyone else? No. And I think that's kind of the point, really. And that's probably what a lot of the audience is saying. So let's take a look at the audience scores. Because, again, you know, they love it. It's a bloody long film. 84%. It's 2.5 hours long. Goodness me. Loved the movie. It was great to see them all on our screens again. And how they work well together. Can't wait for the next installment. Oh, goodness me, another one. Again, I don't hate it. I'm not hating on it. I always roll my eyes when I see another one. Oh, goodness. But in the same way that people do with the Monsterverse. I'm sure it's exactly the same thing. Really doesn't detach itself very far from the previous movies. Looks fantastic and is joyful to watch. But adds little to the repeated formula. Started out very strong. But lags as it goes on, and certain twists don't even catch too much audience attention. A few moments showed impressive attention to detail. Interesting. It was awesome. Love Jason Momoa. A lot of people really like Jason Momoa. I've taken a look at these already. Yeah, again, even this one, you know, negative. If it wasn't for Jason Momoa, then the movie would be a snooze fest. So Jason Momoa seems to be family. Enough said, go watch it. It's all about the family. Family. Jason Momoa, the next Joker. Oh, God, I hope not. They had him painted as being the next Crow. That would have been awful as well. So, look, everyone seems to like it. Too cheesy. Only worthy part was the credit scene. But wow. Why? Look, I'm not going to go watch this movie because it's just not for me. And I would absolutely hate it. Why are you watching this? I mean, it is a cheese fest, right? It's full of cheddar. Why would you be watching this movie? Ugh. Jason Momoa plays a great psycho. He makes the movie out of 10 for me. Unbelievable. Yeah, so everyone... Yeah, Jason Momoa. Everyone seems to love Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa. Great addition. Everett, it's just Jason Momoa, Jason Momoa, Jason Momoa. CGI was subpar, and Momoa over-the-top antics were a bit much. But overall, I had fun. Still 3 out of 5. Wow. So there you have it, right? It's rotten, but people love it. And it is what it is. So there you have it, there, ladies and gents. Leave your thoughts down below. Will you be watching this movie? I think this will dethrone Guardians easily. In fact, it'll probably wipe Guardians of the Galaxy off the map now. But yeah, drop your thoughts down below. Love to hear it. Cheers, guys. Take care.